Hey, YouTube. Well, I'm going to talk about Queen Sugar. Y'all see it last night? Queen Sugar opens up with Nova. She's dreaming, right? She's calling these visitations. Her mother has come to her in her dreams for 3 times in a row. So all we see basically in this vision that she's having, but she's asleep, so I think technically it's still called a dream, is her mother's on the porch. So for the first time, we see the back of her mother. They don't show her face, but they show Nova out there in the fields. What do they sell again? Sugar fields. Calling her to come in the house and then asking her, was she okay? And then the character that is the young Nova asks Nova, the current Nova, are you okay? And it's just that simple. But she wakes up and she does what psychiatrists tell you to do, dream analysts tell you to do. You wake up, if you want to remember your dreams, you write them down. Always heard that you write them down, keep a pad and paper by your bed. But she takes it even step further, which I think is an even better idea. And she talks into to a recorder. So you wake up from your dreams, we got a few minutes there where we can still remember it, where we were. My prayer every morning is, thank God it wasn't true. A lot of dreams are from your memories, right? Comprised of things current and in your memories. And a lot of things I do not want to remember, and I thank God that it is not true. I am not running from the police anymore. Okay. Next thing we see, Prosper. Okay, Prosper, he's at an age where people are starting to die. So he's attending a wake for a friend of his. And he's at the Vi's Prize Pies. He's at the restaurant. And Aunt Vi mentions that this woman's going to be there. Did I write her name down? No, but she's an old girlfriend of the guy who died. So Vi knows that she's going to be there at the funeral. And he gets all happy. What? What you going to be? I ain't seen her in years. So he's getting a little spark from Mr. Prosper. Okay. Remy arrives at the restaurant and he announces to Hollywood that he is leaving. He's leaving St. Joe. He's not from there. His wife was from there, and they made a life together, but it was her family and her history, her background. So he wants to refine himself. I'm so glad they brought him back for this, if he is truly leaving the cast, to at least give us some closure about Remy. Because I was wondering, everybody's back but Remy. What happened to him? So now we know. He's come back. He's announced. Maybe that he'll still be in the show. I don't know. But at least we know what happens to him. He's going back to where he's from to start over again. Right? So he doesn't even say goodbye to Charlie and Nova. He asks Hollywood to handle it for him. Okay. Then we move to Davis. Davis, now he's left professional basketball and he's supposed to be starting a coaching job at his university. The university is, they have protesters. He said the first day there were 10 of them. The following day, there were 200 of them protesting Davis working as their coach. They don't want it. And it's all because of Nova's book. They've heard about the things, his involvement with this girl and allowing this girl to be raped. And they are protesting. He calls Charlie in desperation, asking him. She used to be his manager. She used to give him advice about what moves to make. She says, I'm not your wife anymore. He says, I'm begging you. Tell me what to do in the situation. And basically, they meet. Basically, Charlie's advice is to let me see. Okay. Just to confront or admit his wrongs and hope for mercy. I think that's how she put it. In other words, she wants him to come forward about his involvement in the story, take responsibility for what he did, hope for the best. That's all she can say for him. They're being cordial, but at one moment, he's about to kiss her. And she backs away. No, no, baby. It's not going to be like that. Sure, I do miss you, but I am no longer in love or involved with you. Nova's at another reading. She's calling it a Q&A, questions and answers session at some event. And this professor, a well-known professor in their community, stands up. She teaches, professor of art history. No, she's a writer, and she teaches writing, creative writing, right? She stands up and puts Nova on the spot about her work, suggesting that was it properly researched, and how does it pertain to a bigger audience other than the family, and just really riding Miss Nova, right? It's not obvious in the beginning that they actually know each other. Nova was her protege, this woman, and her lover, right? They don't let on. It's just like and Nova puts her, kind of checks her in this discussion kind of thing. She later goes and confronts the woman, and then we become aware. Woman looks like an older version of Diana Ross, really. I haven't seen Diana Ross in a long time, but she looks a lot like her. Anyway, apparently she was Nova's professor, and she's having a love affair with Nova, and she even took her to Italy. That's how intense it was, right? So she thinks Nova could do better. She expected greater things from her. What? If you got a hot book, I mean, what do you get? She's a creative writer. Anyway, apparently this woman set Nova up because she knew she was going to arrive to confront her, right? So when Nova goes to her house to confront her, the woman has a house full of students. And she says, "Oh, look who's here." And Nova says, "Oh, you set me up to come here." And so she goes and participates with this class to debate the merits of her book. Right? So later on, they end up in bed together again. They were at one point lovers. So all her woman lovers are showing up. All right. So this woman also, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. This woman also offers to have a substitute for her classes and go on the road with Nova to the next city, which I think is New York. They wanted to hang out together. Although if she's going to be getting up in audiences and putting her on Front Street like that, I don't know that I want her alone. But apparently it's not about the book. It's more about them and what they had together. So later on, Nova finds out why she's so confrontational about her work and so forth. She's confrontational because Nova only mentioned her in one line in the book, right? Nova's walking away and she says, "One line." Apparently they had an extensive love affair. They had been out of the country together. And this woman was thinking that everyone else in Nova's life got whole paragraphs, and she is only mentioned in one line, and just as a professor. That's what she's pissed about. All right. Next thing happens. Okay, Ralph's out here on this picnic with this woman, and I'm sorry I don't remember her name. So many characters, but I don't know if she's even mentioned it. But Charlie, Ralph Angel is on a picnic with his little girlfriend, right? This woman who is a prosecutor. They're on a date. And they finally kiss. And Ralph informs her that he was actually a good cook, that Aunt Vi had taught him to cook. So she seems to be basically asking him to cook for her. They go to kissing, and then he gets a call. He gets a call from the school where Blue goes. And apparently Blue is having some problems, and he won't stop crying and so forth, right? So he has to rush off to the school. We know what was coming. The kid on the playground has told Blue that Ralph Angel is not his father. He said he overheard his mother talking to some other woman. I used to do that when I was sidebar. I used to do that when I was a kid. I used to go in my closet connected to my mother's room. So I would go in the closet and I would put a glass on the door and I would get all the gossip. Is that a gay thing to do? I don't know. But because they would gossip for, all women. My mother knew a lot of single women. Plus, for a while there, we lived in projects, so, there weren't no men around. All the women did was gossip. Anyway, this kid tells Blue that that's not your real father. You don't have no daddy. And Blue, he goes into something about this. He gets quiet. And people in the school call. And so this is how this thing's going to end. So we're going to hold the rest of that for a minute. But this is the way he found out. It's all about that damn book. This whole season is about Nova's work. Okay. Next thing we see. Wait a minute. Oh, I don't want to miss this. Okay. Vi's still going through about these memories she's having about this guy, Jimmy Dale. Of course, her husband, Hollywood, is reassuring her that she ain't got to worry about all that. But she's still pissed off at Nova for bringing it back to the forefront of her mind. And I guess a lot of shame. She's got a lot of old memories, regret, and fears. A lot of times when you've been abused by somebody, I just know that from my own experience. If you've been abused by somebody, you hate that part of yourself. Why did I put up with that? And for how long did she put up with it? And was he actually beating her up? How can I have been that person? How could I have been so docile to this man? So she brought it all up, and she's still hurting, right? Then we see Nova goes to see that the clinic is doing well, it's full, it's active. There's all kind of families in there. Because on the first opening, people were hesitant about coming in. They were afraid of ICE. Well, she sees it, and then a minute later, ICE breaks in to raid the damn clinic, separating families right there on the spot, right? People she's known for years. People she had just had conversation with about how it was safe to come there. They take father and the son and leave another father and a son. Father tells one son to take care of the other one. And, of course, she's her. My dog farted. Jesus Christ. Hope he didn't drop nothing. My Jimmy dog just went to the car wash, a dog wash, which I call the car wash. And they gave him some kind of rawhide thing. Anyway, he's pooting. Nasty. Okay. Go away from me, boy. Go away from me, you poop. Where was that? Okay, ICE raised the clinic. We don't know who called. So that's left as a mystery. She, of course, she immediately thought it was the Laundries, but this cop that's in charge of the local sheriff tells her that why would the Laundries tell on themselves? They lost some of their best workers in this raid. So that's left up as a mystery. But it's got to be somebody connected with them, I think. Okay, Michael gets himself a tattoo to honor his friend. His friend got put in jail, and the other ones got away. Well, his friend was guilty as far as starting the fire, and now he's in a local jail. Michael goes to visit him, he sees the guy has a tattoo that he got right before he went to jail. It gives him the idea that he wants to get a tattoo honoring his friend. Baby! Shh. Honoring his friend, right? So, to get this tattoo, he's drinking Jack Daniels, I believe. And he gets drunk, right? So he gets drunk. When Charlie comes home, she smells the alcohol on him. She confronts him about the tattoo. You know, she's not with any of these dreadlocks. She's not with any of this protests. She wants him to prepare himself for college, to have a clean record, go forward. She's not even down with his friends, really, because they protest and they are activists. So she doesn't say it out of her mouth, but she didn't like this tattoo. He didn't get no tattoos. Although everybody gets tattoos these days, you know. It used to be a sign of being a lowlife to have tattoos, but now it seems like pretty much everybody has them. So they have it out. You know, she storms out. Since you don't trust me anymore, let me know who you do trust. I guess that's a threat to send him to his daddy. I don't know. But she is not willing to talk to him because he is drunk. All right. Next thing we see is Charlie has a plan. Okay. So the whole thing up at the Landrys is they have got this deal. They're buying up land. They already own most of the land, buying up whatever they don't own. Or they're going to allow eminent domain by the government to build this this highway through town or right near town, right? Anyway. Ordinarily, for small towns, that would be good news because it brings in a lot of business. If you want your town to be a bigger town, you want it to grow, a highway coming into your town is a good thing. But they're not seeing it that way because that is going to require them to take land. Most of these farmers, the black farmers, are leasing their land from the Landrys anyway. So they'll just take that. That's no big deal. But then people like Ralph Angel, who actually owns the land, they could pick that by eminent domain or buy it cheap. They could end up taking a big part of their property. Right? Charlie wants to find a way to stop them. She's found out last week that Jacob is running for city council. The city councilwoman has quit her post so he can fill it, but he still has to be elected in. So Charlie's plan is to run for city council. Run for city councilwoman. That will give her a voice and power in the decision making about where this highway is to go. The highway is coming, but it can go through their town or a nearby town. Right? And the nearby town is pissed because it was originally supposed to go through their town. So Charlie could work with them and get it back to where it was. Save her family's land and the black farmers. Right? So I think I have a stinky feeling that's what's going to happen. She's going to run for city council, but she's going to have to run from her old admirer, Jacob. Mm-hmm. All right, closing scene. They have an intimate scene here where Blue is crying. Blue is in tears because he's found out that Ralph Angel's not his father. So the three of them, Darla, Blue, and Ralph Angel are together on the sofa. And Ralph Angel is explaining to him how he is his son. They're connected by their souls. Right? Be quiet. And Blue is concerned that, well, maybe you'll find someone else if we're not blood connected. Maybe you'll find another kid to take care of. Or we're not family. So he explains that we are family. You are my boy, and I'll be there for you. Anyway, they made it real mushy, and it's kind of a lot of ladies will lose a tear after that on that scene because it's one of those kind of intimate scenes. Okay, so that's what happened. They end the scene with the three of them coming together on the sofa. Okay. You guys, I love this series. And I'll be back here next week. Later. Get up, dog.